The beautiful brokenness. Finding wholeness after trauma, we're taught that healing is a straight line, that after trauma, there's a neat path from broken to whole. But what if I told you that's one of the most damaging lies we've collectively bought into? I recently had the extraordinary privilege of interviewing Shonda Collins, a woman whose wisdom has fundamentally transformed how thousands approach healing after breast cancer. Her insights aren't just revolutionary for cancer survivors, they're paradigm shifting for anyone who has ever felt the crushing pressure to bounce back when life shatters your foundations. Shonda doesn't just talk about healing, she embodies it. Through her work, she's created safe harbors for countless women navigating the stormy waters of recovery, showing them that the journey isn't about reaching some mythical destination called healed, but about embracing every step of the path with authenticity and grace. Healing is layered, not linear, Shonda told me, her voice steady yet gentle. Those 6 words stopped me in my tracks, a truth so simple yet so profound that it demanded attention. Think about it. We celebrate the 5 year cancer free mark. We applaud when someone returns to work after profound loss. We cheer when the cast comes off. But what about the invisible healing? The 3 a.m. doubts that visit like unwelcome ghosts? The phantom pains that medical charts can't capture? The identity crisis that arrives when your body no longer feels like your own? In 2025, a Black woman courageously documented her chemotherapy hair loss journey on TikTok. Each video revealed another moment of transformation, physical evidence of the battle raging inside her body. But what struck me most profoundly wasn't the hair loss itself, it was her caption on day 17. Today, I looked in the mirror and didn't recognize myself. And somehow that's okay. She didn't force toxic positivity. She didn't pretend everything was fine. Instead, she showed us something revolutionary, that healing includes accepting new versions of yourself, even when they feel like strangers wearing your skin. Her vulnerability created a sanctuary online. Thousands of comments poured in. This is the first time I've seen someone who looks like me going through what I'm going through. I've been hiding my journey because I thought I had to be strong for my family. Thank you for showing me I'm not alone in this wilderness. By sharing her raw truth, she illuminated what Shonda Collins emphasized in our conversation, that authentic healing isn't about returning to who you were before, it's about embracing who you're becoming, especially when that journey feels messy, nonlinear, and sometimes painfully slow. And it will be messy and imperfect. And sometimes it'll feel like you're moving backward. Our culture worships the neat recovery narrative, the before and after, the triumphant return, the what doesn't kill you makes you stronger mythology. But real healing is 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It's feeling invincible on Tuesday and falling apart by Wednesday afternoon. It's celebrating your progress at breakfast and mourning your losses by dinner. This brings me to Shonda's second transformative insight. You can be both broken and beautiful at the same time. Let that sink in for a moment. Both broken and beautiful. Not either or, both and. We've been conditioned to believe that brokenness is something to hide, to overcome, to fix as quickly as possible. That vulnerability equals weakness. That strength means having it all together all the time. But what if our brokenness is actually where our most profound beauty shines through? In July 2025, another breast cancer survivor shared a video diary of her surgical journey. What made it extraordinary wasn't her stoicism during treatment, it was her radical honesty about the fear that followed. She spoke openly about waking up drenched in cold sweats, about checking her scars obsessively, about the anxiety that lingered long after medical professionals had pronounced her cured. The hardest part, she confessed, her voice breaking slightly, wasn't the surgery. It wasn't even the pain. It was the pressure to act healed when I still felt broken inside. It was smiling at the grocery store while feeling like I was held together with nothing but hope and safety pins. Her vulnerability gave language to what many experience, but few express. The comments section transformed into a sanctuary where others finally admitted their own struggles. I thought I was the only one still afraid. I've been pretending to be okay for my family for so long I've forgotten how to be honest. Thank you for giving me permission to not be fine yet. By acknowledging her brokenness, she created space for authentic healing, not just for herself, but for a community of women who had been suffering in isolation, thinking their ongoing struggles meant they were somehow failing at recovery. This is what Shonda Collins meant. You don't have to choose between being broken and being beautiful. The cracks in your armor aren't flaws to be hidden, they're openings where your light shines through most radiantly. Your scars tell a story of survival. Your tears water the seeds of your resilience. Your vulnerability connects you to others in ways that your strength alone never could. But how do we embrace this both and reality? How do we honor our brokenness without being defined by it? How do we find wholeness when parts of us feel irreparably damaged? This leads to Shonda's third transformative insight. Faith, support, and self compassion are essential. In June 2025, an Instagram feature highlighted a gathering called Woman to Woman Talk, a sacred space created specifically for Black breast cancer survivors. What made this event remarkable wasn't just who attended, but what happened there. Women sat in storytelling circles where they could express grief over lost relationships and futures, but also celebrate newfound purpose together. Long term survivors mentored those newly diagnosed. They shared not just medical advice, but spiritual practices that had anchored them through their darkest hours. One participant described it with breathtaking clarity. In the hospital, they treated my cancer, but here they're treating my soul. The gathering addressed what medical systems often miss, that healing requires more than medicine. It requires community that holds space for your truth. It requires faith in something larger than yourself when your own strength falters. It requires treating yourself with the same compassion you'd offer a beloved friend. Woman to Woman Talk became an annual tradition, drawing hundreds nationwide and inspiring similar gatherings focused on holistic healing after trauma. It shifted cultural norms around discussing illness openly among Black professionals and leaders, while catalyzing advocacy efforts for more inclusive survivor care policies. This collective approach mirrors what Shonda Collins emphasized, that we heal better together than alone. That faith gives us a foundation when everything else feels uncertain, that treating ourselves with tenderness is not self indulgence, it's essential self preservation. So, what does this mean for you? Whether you're recovering from physical illness, emotional trauma, or life's unexpected devastations, these insights offer a new framework for healing. First, release the pressure to heal in a straight line. Recovery isn't a race with a defined finish line. It's a winding path with unexpected turns, occasional backtracking, and beautiful vistas you'd never discover if the journey were simpler. Some days you'll feel strong enough to move mountains. Other days, getting out of bed will be your greatest achievement. Both are a part of healing. Both are valid. Both are necessary. Second, embrace the both and of being broken and beautiful simultaneously. Stop waiting to feel completely whole before you allow yourself to shine. Your light doesn't require perfection, it requires permission. Permission to be exactly where you are with all your cracks and missing pieces. As Shonda Collins would say, surviving trauma doesn't require constant strength or composure. It's okay to mourn what was lost while honoring your growth and resilience. Third, gather your essential resources: faith, support, and self compassion. Faith, whether religious, spiritual, or simply belief in your own resilience, gives you an anchor when everything else feels adrift. Support, whether from formal groups or trusted friends, reminds you that you're not alone in your struggles. And self compassion, the practice of treating yourself with kindness rather than criticism, gives you the grace to heal at your own pace. Daily rituals matter too: journaling to process your emotions, affirmations that counter negative thoughts, moments of stillness that connect you to something larger than your pain. These aren't luxuries, they're lifelines. I want to challenge you today, challenge you to reimagine what healing looks like in your own life. What if instead of rushing to get over it, you allowed yourself to grow through it? What if instead of hiding your brokenness, you honored it, an essential chapter in your stories? And imagine a world where we stopped pretending to be fine when we're not, where we created space for each other's messy, nonlinear healing journeys, where we recognize that being broken and beautiful aren't mutually exclusive states. They're complementary dimensions of a fully lived human experience. This isn't just about personal healing, it's about cultural transformation. It's about rejecting the harmful narratives that force us to compartmentalize our pain and present a polished facade to the world. It's about creating communities where vulnerability is valued as strength, where healing is understood as complex and ongoing, where wholeness includes rather than erases our wounds. As you leave here today, I invite you to carry Shonda Collins' wisdom with you. Healing is layered, not linear. You can be both broken and beautiful. Faith, support, and self compassion are essential. And perhaps most importantly, your brokenness does not disqualify you from beauty or purpose. In fact, it might be the very thing that qualifies you to live with greater depth, compassion, and authenticity than ever before. The world doesn't need more people pretending to be whole. It needs more people brave enough to honor their brokenness while embracing their beauty. People like you, people like me, people finding their way, one imperfect step at a time, toward a wholeness that doesn't erase our wounds but transforms them into wisdom. That's not just healing, that's revolution.